On a foggy evening, Harper never expected a stranger's sketchbook would reveal more than art. It would uncover secrets that could change her life forever. As shadows move across the city and whispers of the past surface, every choice she makes teeters on the edge of fear and desire. Can trust survive when the truth hides in plain sight? Or will the shadows of tomorrow consume everything she holds dear? The first time I really felt alone, I mean truly alone, I was 16. Rain was falling like it wanted to erase the world, the streets of Chicago empty, neon lights flickering and humming with a kind of melancholy that seemed alive. I remember gripping my backpack straps so tight, my knuckles ached, and thinking, maybe this is how life starts, with fear, with loss. My name is Liam Harper, and back then, my life was a series of broken promises disguised as ordinary days. My father had disappeared 3 months prior, leaving nothing but a note in his messy handwriting. I'm sorry, but some shadows can't be outrun. I didn't understand then. How could someone just leave? But every day, the city whispered the same answer in traffic horns and rainwater dripping down brick walls. Life doesn't wait for understanding. I had my mother, yes, but grief changes people. She went numb, living in the echoes of a past she couldn't fix, leaving me to navigate the storm alone. It was in that emptiness that I first met her, Emily. I was taking shelter under a tattered awning, cigarette smoke curling in the foggy night air, when a voice cut through the drizzle like a warm blade. Need a hand? I looked up, and there she was, pale, soaked hair clinging to her face, but eyes burning with an energy that made the rain feel like a curtain separating her from the rest of the world. That was the moment everything shifted. Not magically, not immediately, but that moment was the hinge, the turning point. We started with small things, shared coffee cups at a corner diner, walks along the lakeside where fog swallowed our footprints, whispered confessions between street lamp shadows. She fought her demons just as fiercely as I did, maybe even harder. Yet there was this strange gravity between us, pulling us closer even when the world said, stay apart. Love, I realized, isn't about safety. It's about daring to be seen when all your walls are crumbling. High school friends, jobs that sucked the life out of me, nights I spent staring at ceilings imagining what my father's face looked like that day he vanished. Emily became my anchor. But life, as always, has a way of testing the things you hold most dear. A letter came, yellowed at the edges, with a typewriter font that screamed urgency. Liam, it's not safe. Leave Chicago. My stomach dropped. Danger had found its way into our bubble, and for the first time, I feared for her as much as myself. We ran, or maybe walked fast enough to feel like running, crossed state lines in silence, my hands gripping hers until they went numb. We found a tiny town in Vermont, small and sleepy, but it held a strange promise of quiet. Here, for the first time, I let myself breathe without expecting the air to taste like ash. Emily and I began to rebuild, piece by fragile piece, like constructing a mosaic out of broken glass. Painful, delicate, terrifying, but undeniably ours. And yet, every quiet night I hear the whispers of Chicago, the sirens, the rain against the pavement. I remember the shadows. But with Emily, the shadows aren't as dark. They're just part of the story, part of what makes the light at sunrise feel earned. This is the story of how a boy who thought life was fire and loss learned to dance in the flames, and how love, in all its messy, unpredictable glory, became the reason to keep moving forward. I won't lie. There were nights I thought the fire would consume me. Nights when the letters from unknown senders threatened to undo everything we built. Nights when I wanted to give up, let the shadows win. But Emily, she didn't let me. She would shake me awake from my spirals, her eyes fierce, her voice unwavering. You're not alone. Not now. Not ever. And that's when I understood. Survival isn't just about enduring the fire. It's about letting someone else share the heat with you, even when everything in the world says to run. So here I am, 30 years old, still carrying the memories of that rain-soaked night, still haunted by shadows that refuse to die, but also carrying Emily's hand in mine. Proof that even after fire, after loss, after the moments that should have broken me, something beautiful can grow. And that is why I tell this story. Not for pity, not for sympathy, but because sometimes surviving fire isn't enough. Sometimes you need to love through it. And if you can do that, then maybe, just maybe, you can finally step out of the shadows and into a tomorrow worth fighting for. The mornings in Vermont are quiet, almost unreal. Fog clings to the trees like memories refusing to leave. Emily and I wake up to the smell of wood smoke, pancakes, and the distant murmur of a river that doesn't judge you for your past. It's peaceful but not perfect. We both carry scars, mine visible in restless eyes, hers in the careful way she folds her hands when she's nervous. But the fire we've survived, the nights we thought we'd lose everything, they've forged something stronger than either of us alone. We opened a small bookstore together. It's nothing fancy, just shelves of old novels and coffee-stained tables where people can read, write, or simply exist. Every book on those shelves feels like a piece of our journey. The laughter of strangers becomes background music, a rhythm we've longed for after years of sirens and silence. Emily sketches little doodles on napkins while I draft stories inspired by the life we've clawed back from chaos. I remember one day, a little girl wandered in, drenched from a sudden summer rainstorm. She held a soggy notebook, her eyes wide and curious. Emily smiled, handed her a dry towel, and offered a warm chocolate milk. In that moment, I realized healing isn't just about surviving the fire. It's about creating spaces where others can feel safe to dream again. And that's what we've done. Slowly, day by day, hand in hand. Of course, the past doesn't vanish. Letters still arrive occasionally, unsigned, warning us of dangers long gone or imagined. But we don't let them rule our lives. We face them together, turning fear into strategy, worry into plans. Every shadow in our history becomes a lesson, a reminder of how far we've come. Emily's laughter becomes my armor, her strength my guiding light. And then there are nights, rare and precious, when the two of us sit outside, gazing at the stars. The air is crisp, the world is quiet, and for a brief time, the ghosts of Chicago feel miles away. We speak of dreams, of hopes, of places we'll travel when the world stops trying to remind us of loss. And in her eyes, I see every nightmare we survived reflected as courage. Every fear transformed into love. Every fire endured has led us here. Love, I learned, is not about perfection. It's about showing up when it's hardest, when the storm seems endless, when your own shadows threaten to consume you. It's about daring to trust someone enough to let them in, even when you've built walls that should be unbreakable. Emily and I have discovered that the fiercest love is forged in the hottest fire, and the brightest futures are glimpsed through the smoke of past battles. There was a time I thought life was just chaos and survival. Every heartbeat was a negotiation with fear. But now, 30 years later, I wake up to laughter, warmth, and hope. I wake up to the knowledge that I'm not just surviving. I'm living fully and fiercely alongside someone who transforms every shadow into light. The fire didn't break us. It taught us how to rise, together. And so, if you ever find yourself trapped in darkness, staring into the flames of your own despair, know this: there is a tomorrow worth fighting for. A tomorrow where love isn't just a word whispered in fleeting moments, but a living, breathing force that carries you beyond the fire. Emily and I didn't just survive the shadows. We danced with them, laughed with them, and let them guide us to a place where every morning smells of possibility, where every moment is a testament to resilience, and where the fire finally becomes our light. So here I stand, a man forged by loss, love, and every challenge life threw in my path. I tell our story not to glorify pain, but to illuminate the power of connection, trust, and courage. Because in the end, it's not the fire we remember, it's the hands we held through it, the hearts that refused to abandon us, and the unwavering belief that love, even when tested, can carry us across the shadows into the dawn. And that, my friends, is the story of how two people found hope, healing, and forever in the ashes of what could have destroyed them. Life is unpredictable, terrifying, and occasionally cruel, but it's also breathtaking, beautiful, and profoundly worth living. And with Emily by my side, every shadow feels manageable, every storm navigable, every fire survivable. That's the story of us. That's the story of fire, love, and everything in between. That's the story of tomorrow, starting now.